Hi Denny, thanks for taking the time. We're at the Middle East ComWorld show here in Dubai. I'd really appreciate as an introduction to get a first-hand view on what the Convergys product set is at the moment and what you're doing down in this region.
Okay, thank you. Well, Convergys is a large company, and the division we are working in here in the Middle East is about providing solution to telcos in order to better manage their client relationship and everything around customer care and billing in general. So this goes from CRM, rating and billing, offer better life cycle management of the offers, as well as things like mediation to the network and collections manager. So it's really the full commercial life cycles of the customer relationship for telcos.
Okay, great. And what are the you've worked, first of all, in previous roles responsible for all of EMEA. You're now responsible in this Convergys role for a very, very big region for Convergys in terms of their business, the Middle East and Africa. What do you see as the defining characteristics of this region?
I think what we see here in the region is we see happening what's happened before, in Western Europe or in the rest of the world. We used to have state-owned monopoly operators, then regulation, regulator push for price competition, and hence, the market starts to open, and we saw the business model shifting to a multi-play service provider. Then, price competition intensifies, new licenses were awarded, and we saw a model going from something, end-to-end managed by a telco to a model more focused on, on wholesale, billing, and focusing on optimizing the network versus a kind of a retail telco distributing contents, their own contents, but also contents from others. And I think what we see today in the Middle East is basically what happened in Western Europe, but it's happening very fast. It is a little bit behind compared to Western Europe, but it's happening very fast. And we have a lot of examples, and especially in Saudi Arabia, which is really a fast-growing market. And for us, it's a bellwether. They are kind of a leading example of what's going to happen in the Middle East, and moving to really a model where also more and more they may share networks in order to optimize those costs, because going through the next generation is going to be very expensive. Also, they're going to move to more and more distributing content that they are not providing themselves, and having also web store or app stores taking global content, from the Google, from the Apples and the others, adding some local one potentially, and offering that to their subscribers. And this is a big change, because usually operators used to do it only with their own contents. And what all that means is that basically operators need to rethink how they do business internally, how they are organized, and what system they need to put in place, or they need to reshape or to redefine in order to support this business model evolution.
Okay, and to support all this growth of business, you've had a big evolution of your team here. In fact, there's been a recession for the last year, and from what you've told me, you've had really good growth.
Yes, well, we have long-lasting customers in the region. I could mention some of them. Telecom Egypt, for example, as a wireline. It was just delivered this year, more than 10 million subs, and migrated to a state-of-the-art, Infinite solution. Now it's enabled them to do, single bill consolidation of services, and that's just, reduced SEO as well. And that's just one example. Another one is Saudi Telecom, in the wireless space, just migrated also to our solutions, enabled them to front the competition, which is really fast growing with Mobily and Zain in Saudi Arabia. And because in order to support these large customers, and I could mention also QTEL, I could mention Naras, I could mention Mobilink, we built a strong team, and we've recruited up to 20 people, so more than 15 during this year, in sales, client and account management, and also delivery capabilities in both Dubai, Cairo, where we have most of our delivery teams, and also Riyadh. So yes, we are investing in the region. So not only we've been here for a while, but we're investing in the region.
What are the key differentiators, and are they specific to this region?
Well, thanks for asking the questions, because we basically, based on our analysis of the market and what are the specific needs of the Middle East and Africa market, we've currently reshaped our solution portfolio, and we see three strategic directions that we need to support our customers in today, and for which we have solutions. The first one is really about billing consolidation and conversion services. A lot of owned, state-owned monopoly, or all state-owned monopoly, have a lot of legacy system in silos, and not providing customer centricity and convergence of services. So we have a solution for that, and one of the main examples is the one I just mentioned, the successful migration at Telecom Egypt, more than 10 million subs. I think the second one is really around innovation, ARPU increasing and focusing on high value, and especially around high value prepaid customer. In Middle East there are a lot of prepaid customers, but the key challenge with them is loyalty and to retain them for each of the operator in their business. And we have solutions which enable to basically build converged services in real time, which allow prepaid subscribers to benefit from services which are usually only allowed for postpaid or offered to postpaid subscribers. So it could be around friends and family, close user group. It could be around multiple sophisticated balance management, and this is something really new that which I believe differentiates ourselves in the market. And the third area, sorry to be a bit long, is I mentioned we have large clients like Telecom Egypt or STC, but we're also able to help new licensee and MVNO. And MVNO is just starting in the Middle East, and some countries like Oman, for example, are very developed. And a few years ago we launched Naras successfully, which was a new licensee at the time, meaning that we're able to, not only we can work and successfully with large operators, but we're able to launch in 3 to 6 months new licensees, MVNO, and help them to grow from 0 to million, and all that with the same infinite suite and solution that we're offering to tier ones.
Scalability must be very important for these guys starting the new business, and I guess for the existing people growing. How does that play into your kit?
Well, yeah, it is very important because when they do a lot of effort to launch a new operation, for example, as I said, a new licensee or an MVNO, they don't want to redo it 1 year later when they grow. And at the same time, it's very difficult in this business to predict the growth you're going to have in terms of number of subscribers. So with our solution, they're able to start small and get big without changing the solution. So that's the beauty of it, and that's part of our differentiating factor.
And in your core set of clients here, you've gone in and replaced their core systems in some cases, which are massive projects. How have you managed to support such big projects?
Well, I think one of the key things, and to be honest, these projects are challenging, for everybody. And I would mention, let's say, 2 or 3 things. The first thing is also to make sure that it's not only an IT project, and it's really based on the strategy of the company, and that the processes are refined, the organization has refined in order to support and to work, in the most efficient way as possible with the new solution. And this is really a key condition in order to meet the reduced TCO that they're all looking for. I think second thing is, as usual, but it's not always easy to find it, is really strong senior management support during the full life cycle of the project. And life cycles are sometimes pretty long for large operator migration, so this is really key for success. And the third thing is, you were asking me how did we support that. I think we did support that with a strong local team that we built up over the years, able to provide local support with the right skills, of course, but also speaking the local language, meaning being able to deal with everybody within the client. And all these teams, supported by experts coming from various nationalities. But the model is that basically, then after the implementation, it's mainly the local team who is managing all the enhancement and the evolution of the system. So localization, having the people on site, working on the same site than the client is really key for those successful implementation.
So you're long term with the presence in this region now?
Yeah, for sure. We are planning to have a long term. We would not have invested in more than 15 people, 15 talents, on the various areas this year. So we do plan to have a long-term presence in the region, and our, vision is really that the Middle East is a very high growth area, and we are here. We want to stay here, and we want to grow here and be very close to our clients, working with our clients on the client side, and that's that's very key for us. So it's clearly not just one shot, it's a long shot.
Okay, well, that's a great summary of your business for me. Thanks very much for taking the time.
Thank you very much for asking.